So behind me, I have some brassicas that were planted into some rye thatch. What I did is I went in, I terminated the rye before the seed head was viable, and then I came in around August 1st, broadcast my brassicas, and then I cultipacked that rye thatch right over top of the brassicas. Now, a few years ago on this food plot, I decided to let the rye seed go to viability, then broadcast my brassicas into that rye and cultipack that viable seed, that viable rye head, right over top of the brassicas. Well, here's the video from, I think it's 3 or 4 years ago, showing exactly what happened. Now, spoiler alert, if you like rye, this would be a phenomenal practice to do if you want to get a lot of rye in your plots. But if you want brassicas, letting that seed go viable might be a bit of a struggle for you to get any brassicas going. So here's the video. Alright, so here was the standing rye, and like I said, what I did is I actually came into here with the brassica blend and I broadcasted right into this standing rye. Now this standing rye did have a viable seed head, so I knew that I'd get some rye germinating back, but I wanted to see just how thick that rye would come in. My biggest questions were, would the rye come in too thick for the brassicas to grow well? And I also wanted to know if the rye would be completely unattractive by the deer season, because with the rye germinating this early, I knew that it would get pretty darn tall. So here were the results. I had shot this video in mid-October. At that point we hadn't had any frost yet. And you can see the brassicas are there, but they were definitely struggling. I mean, some of them had some decent green color to them, but a lot of them did start to turn kind of purple and yellow, just showing that they were really competing with that very thick, dense rye for nutrients. Now you got to keep in mind, when you do this, you're basically seeding that rye at probably 30 to 40 times the normal drill rate that somebody would plant rye, because you're not taking any of that seed out of the food plot. So the rye does come in very, very thick. Now the rye did actually stay fairly attractive. I think when it came in that thick, it was kind of competing with itself, so it didn't end up getting super tall. And who knows, this year maybe we didn't have a whole lot of moisture, so there wasn't a lot of growing opportunity for it. So they were still on the rye some that mid-October, but generally rye is the most attractive in that 2 to 4 weeks worth of growth mark, and this would have been a couple months worth of growth on this rye. But the biggest question was, how would it play with the brassicas? And again, I'm highlighting a few spots here where I obviously saw some brassicas growing, but for the most part, I think it pretty well choked out the brassicas because it just came in so incredibly thick. So if you want to reseed your rye, cultipacking it down will work great. But just know, if you throw some brassicas in, most of them will probably struggle. All right, y'all take care. God bless. Say goodbye, Grayson.
Bye-bye.